Imagine your mind is a crowded room where everyone is shouting at once. This is the relentless chaos of overthinking that kills your productivity and spikes your anxiety every single day. You've been told to fight these thoughts, but what if the secret to true mental clarity isn't fighting the noise, but realizing you hold the key to simply walk out of the room? In this video, we uncover a powerful, lesser-known Zen story that teaches the art of total detachment and mindfulness in a way you likely haven't heard before. This isn't just a fable, it is a practical, psychological blueprint to finding inner peace and laser focus in a distracted world. If you are ready to silence the storm and finally learn the true secret to empty your mind, stay with me because the silence you seek is just one realization away. Let me tell you a story about a man named Julian who seemed to have everything the modern world promised would make him happy, including a high-paying job as a senior architect in a bustling American city, a luxury apartment with a view of the skyline, and the respect of his peers. Yet, if you looked past the expensive suit and the forced smile, you would see a man who was completely hollow inside, because Julian was silently battling a severe case of chronic overthinking that was destroying his life from the inside out. He would lie awake at night staring at the ceiling for hours, his mind racing like a runaway train with thoughts of past mistakes and future catastrophes, creating a toxic cycle of insomnia and stress that left him drinking 4 cups of coffee just to function in the morning. And no matter how many productivity apps he downloaded or how many self-help podcasts he listened to, he could not find the mental clarity he was desperate for. One particularly gray and rainy afternoon, after a humiliation in the boardroom where his brain simply froze due to burnout, Julian found himself wandering the wet streets of the city without an umbrella, ignoring the buzzing of his smartphone, which felt like a leash around his neck. Until he turned down a narrow cobblestone alleyway he had never noticed before and saw a faded wooden sign that read, "Elias, Repairs of Time." Intrigued and needing shelter from the storm, Julian pushed open the heavy oak door and stepped inside. And immediately, the chaotic noise of the city traffic and the sirens vanished, replaced by the rhythmic, soothing ticking of hundreds of antique clocks covering every inch of the walls, creating a symphony of order that felt like a warm blanket for his frazzled nerves. Behind a counter filled with gears and springs sat Elias, an elderly man with silver hair and eyes that held a deep ocean of inner peace, who didn't look up from his work but simply asked, "You are running fast, young man, but do you know where you are going?" Julian was taken aback, and usually guarded, he found his defenses crumbling in the presence of such calm, confessing that he felt like he was drowning in noise and that his anxiety was a constant weight on his chest that he couldn't shake off. Elias nodded slowly, put down his magnifying glass, and walked around the counter to hand Julian a heavy iron pendulum from a grandfather clock, instructing him to hold it straight out at shoulder level and not to drop it. Julian gripped the cold iron, thinking this was a test of strength, and Elias asked him to close his eyes and speak aloud every worry that was currently in his mind. So Julian began to list them, speaking of the project he might fail, the email he forgot to send, the argument he had with his brother 3 years ago, and his fear of being alone in the future. As Julian spoke, the minutes ticked by, and his arm began to tremble violently, the muscles screaming in agony as the negative energy of his thoughts seemed to transfer into the iron, making it feel heavier and heavier until sweat was pouring down his face, and he cried out that he couldn't hold it anymore because the pain was unbearable. Elias gently placed a hand on Julian's shoulder and told him to drop it. And when the weight hit the floor with a loud thud, the relief was instant and overwhelming, leading Elias to explain that the weight of the pendulum had not changed since he picked it up. It was 5 pounds at the start and 5 pounds at the end, but the longer Julian held it, the heavier it became, which is exactly what he was doing with his depression and worries. Elias explained that mindfulness and personal growth are not about never having a heavy thought, but about realizing that we are foolishly choosing to carry them with us 24 hours a day, into our beds, into our conversations, which kills our productivity and joy. Julian rubbed his sore arm and asked the question that haunts us all, "But how do I put them down when they stick to me?" and Elias smiled and led him to the back of the shop, where a wooden door stood wide open to a lush, rain-soaked garden, saying that the mind is like this shop and thoughts are like visitors. Elias told him that right now, Julian was standing at the front door of his mind, fighting with every visitor, trying to push the bad ones out and lock the door, which only creates more conflict and noise. But the secret to peace of mind and true spirituality is to become a shopkeeper who leaves the back door open. Elias taught him that he must let the angry thought enter through the front door, acknowledge it, and then watch it walk straight out the back door without offering it a chair, without serving it tea, and without asking it to explain itself, which is the art of detachment. Julian stood there practicing this visualization, imagining his fear of the future walking into the shop, and instead of panicking, he simply watched it past the clocks and out into the garden, and for the first time in decades, the noise in his head didn't stop, but it ceased to matter, bringing a wave of deep relaxation and emotional healing that brought tears to his eyes. Julian realized that meditation was not about silencing the world, but about stopping the struggle against it, and he left the shop that day as a changed man, not because his problems had disappeared, but because his relationship with them had shifted. Over the next few months, Julian's life transformed. He became a better leader because he listened instead of worrying what to say next. He slept deeply because he left his day at the door, and he found motivation not from fear, but from a genuine love of the present moment, proving that the subconscious mind can be retrained to find stillness even in chaos. We all carry that iron weight, and we all stand at the door fighting our thoughts, but you have the power right now to open the back door and let the storm pass through so you can enjoy the sunlight that follows. If this story helped you drop your heavy weight even for a moment, and if you want to continue this journey of self-improvement and wisdom with me, please support this channel by taking a heartfelt second to click the subscribe button, but as a promise to yourself to prioritize your peace. Please like this video so we can reach more people suffering in silence, and share this with someone you know who is carrying too much, and leave a comment below declaring, "I am opening the back door to claim your peace today." Thank you for watching, and may you find the silence you deserve.